episode of Unscripted. You couldn't really hear me, sorry. And we are, you know, back at it again.
We're back at it again.
Yes.
And we are so excited because we haven't been able to record in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, which sucks.
Because we love recording and we think that it's so much, it's fun for us
Yeah.
to do it. So before we jump in, do we have any announcements or anything?
Do we have any announcements? I don't have any announcements.
I have an announcement.
She does have an announcement.
So by the time this episode comes out, it will be way past the anniversary. But what's today? In 9 days, it will be 1 year since we released our first episode.
That's so crazy. A year we've been doing this. Y'all, it has been so great. Well,
Yes.
I mean,
We had that break.
it's been fun to do something different because this is something I've never done before. So whenever, you know, you told me to do it, I was like, oh, well, I've never done that, so I really don't know how well I'm going to do at it. So it was really nice to be taken out of my comfort zone, I guess, because I wouldn't normally do this.
Yep.
So it's awesome. Thank you, Shelby, for doing that.
Aw. Thank you for being here, Katie.
Absolutely. I feel like I have to see what I do, because I'll be looking at you. Whenever you're having a conversation with yourself, and then you look for a fake camera.
Mhm.
See, yeah, that's what this reminds me of. Because I'll be looking at you, and I'm like, this is what you need to do. So,
For our non-camera listeners, just one episode I would like you to watch, at least, just so you can see how crazy we are. Like you can hear us, you can hear the craziness, but you can't see it. It's different seeing it.
and you have to see us to know whenever you're listening, how we our reactions to things.
Yes.
So yeah, watch.
Watch.
Go subscribe, please.
Yes, we love people. I think it's one of my favorite things ever is people coming up to me and being like, "I love your podcast," and it's so neat how you and your friend are doing this. And I'm like, I mean, how else? What else would we like? We're doing what God wants us to do.
Right.
The camera worked, y'all. We've had so many problems today.
This daggone camera. It's just
Yeah.
mm-mm.
And it worked today. And so, hold on. I'm just going to make sure this is plugged in because if it's not, I'm going to be real upset. Okay, it is. But yeah, so this is not only something we do for y'all, but it's also something we do for us because it really gives us a chance to connect over topics that are in the Bible and dig deep into
Understand them more. Whereas we've said that we've both had falling offs and stuff, in our walk with God, but it puts you in a position where you have to do your research on this and you have to learn on it because you're telling it to other people and you don't want to mislead or misguide somebody.
Yeah, the air conditioner. Our camera woman is back, by the way.
And she's great, by the way, because she just reminded us about the air conditioner. And it's going to sound so great when it turns off.
Yes.
Hurry up.
Turn off. Why is it not turning off? Do I need to unplug it?
Exquisite me.
Okay, there we go.
There it is. All right.
Oh, that sounds so much better.
It does. Oh my gosh, I can hear you. Wow. Anyways, what was we talking about?
We were talking about how we don't want to mislead y'all in any way. So we do
Right.
so much research on the topics that we're doing, especially in this season. Because last season, if y'all have gone back and watched those, it was just not. It was not.
The only thing that I think it was the weird episode, which I think was episode 14, Yeah, I think it was episode 14 whenever all the stuff was talking about all the stuff. I knew about that, so I was like, look, girl,
That was
this
the
is
first.
what it
I think
is.
that was like one of the first episodes where you were like took over.
Girl, I got more.
And
I got more.
no, look, I was telling Natalie about it, and then Natalie was like, "Hold up, you have to go to dinner with me and my boyfriend." And I was like, "Why?" And she was like, "Cause you have to tell him." And so I was telling him all about it. I found another conspiracy theory. I'll have to tell you about it.
Is it
The Red Shoe Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you done research into that?
I have not, but I've heard
'Cause
of
I
it, but
did.
I haven't researched it yet.
No. I got something. I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, y'all, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but like
Conspiracy theories are fun.
it is. But a lot of people, what you discover, a lot of people wouldn't necessarily say is like, that's not real. You know, that's fake. Like, wow. But that's where, as a Christian, you have to have discernment because you will definitely fall into the lies that they feed, and you don't want to do that. And so that's why I told Shelby because I was like, yeah, this is, and a lot of people don't know about it. And me and my mom had just recently found out about a lot of it. So, and y'all don't even know what we're talking about. But,
Go back and watch the conspiracy theories episode.
And you'll
Conspiracy
know.
theories and focusing on God is the episode. I think you're right. I think it was episode 14.
yeah. And then, like I said, even like if you go on our socials, it's the stay focused. Things aren't always as they seem.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, go watch it. We'll listen.
It was so much. That was really fun.
That was a good episode. But y'all, after we was at the church, it was pitch black
Pitch
in the church.
black in a church. Okay, I don't know if y'all watch horror movies or anything, but nothing good ever happens in a dark,
Me and
abandoned
Shelby-
church.
me
And
and
that's what
Shel-
it felt like. I felt abandoned.
Who's gonna go first? When I was like, I'm not going.
We were
Girl, I
not
was
gonna
like,
be
we
the
finna just
stupid
stay in
person.
this room, and then like as soon as we walked out the door, cut the light, we took off down the
We were
hallway.
not gonna be the stupid person in the horror movie who's like, "Hello, is anybody out there?" We were not gonna be that person. We were gonna be like, "Okay, if a
No.
demon comes out and
We're not the-
attaches,
we're not the-
I'm pushing you."
Yeah, but we're not the type of white in a scary movie. We finna go.
Yeah.
We finna haul tail out. Cause I
Um,
ain't staying, but it was bad.
I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, I love you so much. But if something was chasing us,
Girl, bye.
I just gotta outrun
Bye.
you.
She's like, baby, I'll fight. Look, I was talking to my little brother because me and him were just talking, and he's. Did you?
No, I just something just came to my brain. You finish what you were saying.
She broke your nail.
No.
But me and my little brother were talking, and my little brother whenever he was like toddler, he had like an experience with a demon. Like he had seen him, and he had seen one. It was a little boy. He said he had little knots right here, and he
You told me about this.
Yes, I've told her about this, and I'm pretty sure I said it on here, but I don't know. And he was playing with his cars and stuff, and he had this little toy train. And one day, me and Mama were in the room. I think she was doing my hair. I was in her room, and he ran in there crying. He was like, "That little boy stole my Thomas." And y'all, me and Mama looked at each other like, "Huh?" And we ran to his room. Everything was shoved to one side, and his little toy train was in a corner. And he was talking like, we were just talking about it one night, and I was like, dude, I'm telling you, like, if I saw one, I feel
Okay.
like I would just
No,
like.
here's the thing. It just came up on my memories of me. I took a picture of like myself on Snapchat, and I put a little caption, and it just came up on my memories. It said, so in the future, my child is supposed to come up to me and say, "Hey, my friend is being mean to me." And they're not talking, like they're talking about their imaginary friend. And I'm just supposed to be okay with it. Like, I'm not supposed to just, I'm going to throw the child away.
You're gonna throw your child away?
We're not doing that.
Listen, there's ways to go about it, Joey.
Okay.
Anyways,
But what I was thinking whenever my jaw dropped, is we're just talking about, like, we're not gonna be like, we're gonna be smart about it. Like, we're gonna be thinking about, like, I'm not just gonna go into this dark room, and we're gonna be smart about it. And today
We're talking about
we're talking about wisdom. So like,
spiritual wisdom.
It even our ADHD is on track.
Dude, I'm telling you. Look at us. We've made it. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? No, I'm just kidding.
It's not us getting thousands and thousands of listeners. It's
Us figuring
us
out,
figuring
like,
us our
putting-
tangents,
putting it together. We're putting it together.
everything together.
But yes, we are talking about wisdom, and this was a topic that I came up with when I was reading Job 28, because Job had asked, he was in one of his, outpours, talking about something, and he
about
was
something.
talking about something.
He talks so much.
They all do. And so he said, what is, like, kind of, what is wisdom? Where do we receive it? And that was like, yo, that's something I want to know, because you always hear, like, okay, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, but then it's also like you don't necessarily understand it fully, because it's fear of the Lord, and you don't understand what type of fear it's talking about. And the way I've always seen it, and whenever somebody was explained it to me, it was like almost kind of like a posture, like an ultimate respect. And then, like, it could mean fear in, like, how whenever you do something wrong and your parents find out and you're scared of what's going to happen. Well, I feel like that is one way, like, that's one way that I had looked at and talked about. There's actually a verse. Sorry, y'all, I keep on moving. But my notes are everywhere. I was just writing. I didn't put them together or, like, I just, we hear.
But while she's doing that, I wanna be clear about something. We're talking about wisdom, and wisdom is from God. We're not talking about smart, because
Kind of like knowledge, the difference between knowledge. Whenever you're knowledgeable about something, you know about something, and wisdom is knowing how to deal with that something that you know. Like, and you probably can explain that better, but I had read that, whereas, like, the difference is, like, knowledge is knowing something about a situation, but wisdom is how when to deal with it. And
Yeah.
or
knowing what to do in a situation.
yeah, or knowing what to say and when to say it. The wisdom part is when you should say it.
Like, for us, like, here, just going back to what we were talking about earlier, we're knowledgeable about these conspiracy theories
Because we've researched.
because we've done the research, but we don't have the wisdom. We don't
No, like,
know if this is fact, or we don't.
also, it's like you have wisdom from experience.
Mhm.
Like, okay, well, that turned out bad, just like we do from the podcast. Our last season was not so great, so we learned from the things and we changed them. And, now talking about it, we know what to change and what to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but what I was saying earlier, like I said, it's almost like I said, a posture, but like a submission to God, like in a way where you're glorifying Him and keeping Him in that spot. And like I had wrote down, it says it's a combination of these. It's like terror when one feels in frightening situation, and then another way it can mean in a respectful aspect, like you respect Him. Yeah, it says it can mean respect in a way a servant fears his master and serves him faithfully. And then fear can also, I'm trying to fix it. I know, I'm trying. Because I'm looking down.
I know. Just Get the mic down.
I'll be like, keep on moving. Let me just hold it up. All right. But fear can also, denote the reverence. Did you use that word right? Reverence of our all, or all a person in the presence of greatness. So, like I said, you're in that posture, like kind of when you're in church and you're raising your hands and you're just so in awe of God. That is like fear of the Lord. You're just like, I'm so in awe of you, and I've given everything, all of myself to you. And when you fear the Lord, you have a continuous awareness of Him. So He's always around. And plus, whenever it's spiritual wisdom, God is wise. He is the
He's all knowing.
right, legit. So whenever how you become more, I guess you could say wiser, like have more wisdom, is whenever you have that relationship with God. And what I mean by that is whenever you're getting to know Him, He's going to use you. So that wisdom is going to come from Him. And that to me was so freaking awesome, because it's like, yo, like He's spirit.
Wisdom is not something you can learn.
No.
It's something that God has to bestow upon you.
Right. But I do have some verses too, and I meant to start with those, but like I said, my notes are like in different spots. But this, going back to what I just said, it says when we know God and have a relationship with Him and feed our spirit, we receive words that come directly from the mouth of God. So just like He spoke through many others, He will do that with us. And the fear of the Lord, Proverbs 1:7. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. A fool despises God's instruction and cannot be told what to do. A fool has no foundation on which to build wisdom. So it's almost like when your parents are like, you don't need to do this because it's not going to end well, and you're like, well, I don't care, I'm going to do it anyway. And you realize for yourself, well, it ain't going to work out. So that's kind of how that is, like be willing to learn from people, and especially whenever it comes to God, like be willing to learn from those who know more than you do and have good intentions of teaching you and helping you grow. So that also plays a big part. Like, be willing to learn, and be sure to keep God in this. Always have this respect for God. Keep Him in the same position. Don't move Him around and put things before Him, because that's whenever you fall back. Keep Him in the same spot and put Him above everything else, because whenever you seek the Lord, you begin to have you have fear of the Lord. And whenever you say fear of the Lord, I want y'all to start saying it's a posture, and it's a position of having an ultimate respect and awe for Him for what He did. So that's how I look at it.
I'm gonna go a little off topic, just a little bit. Another thing is this is pretty much off topic, but she was just talking about fear, and I know for a lot of people, if you fear something, it looks bad on your part. Like it looks, oh, you're a scary cat or whatever.
Yeah.
But having a fear of the Lord is like in my opinion, it makes you cooler.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if a guy was like, oh yeah, I'm God fearing, I'd be like, huh?
What did you say? For real.
It's just no, fearing worldly things is different than the fearing God.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's a different type of fear, I guess you would say, because it doesn't like. And with each of these, there's verses to it. Like, whenever I said it's almost like a frightening feeling, it's Deuteronomy 2:25. I don't have that wrote down, but I will read them. Since we just, like I said, when in doubt, we go Bible. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Go look at our socials if you don't know what that quote is.
I don't even know where I got it.
But it's on our social. You got it from our socials.
Yeah, shut up. Okay, it says Deuteronomy 2:12. This day I will begin to put the dread and fear of you on the people who are under the whole heaven, who shall hear the report of you and shall tremble and to be in anguish because of you. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, kind of like, um, let's see. I guess you could say the wrath of God, like whenever you know it's coming and everybody's gonna be like, you know,
It reminds me of Noah.
right.
Like
What
everybody's like, Noah, why are you building that? Noah, why are you doing that? And he was like, because God is it's gonna rain, and God is going to wipe everybody out. And they were like, ha ha ha, no. And then he did. So
then when it started to rain,
they were like,
that they wish they would have believed him.
Yep.
Okay, and then whenever it's like in a sense of respect and awe for him, it's this one was Joshua 24:4. Oh, it's right there. Slow, y'all. Okay. Anyways, Joshua 24:4. And to Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau, and gave Esau the hill country of, I don't know how to say that word, of Seir to possess, but Jacob and his children went down to Egypt. Hold up a second. I think it's because he has respect because he kept his promise, like because it's dealing with Isaac and he promised them this land, and you know, so I think that's what that's talking about. But I don't. Mm. Yeah.
there's so much in the Bible about wisdom,
Yes, yes, there is.
and the biggest thing is it's not a worldly thing.
No, because there's a difference. Like I said, whenever you have fear of the Lord, you have wisdom. Whenever you allow God to, like I said, because it's whenever you look, like whenever you're looking it up and everything, it's like, how do you become spiritually wise? And it's saying through prayer and reading your word and, you know, just a constant having a relationship with God. That's what, um, that's what I got out of everything I read. Having the proper relationship with God and feeding your spirit every day, it allows God to speak through you, to move through you, and you know, His Spirit moves through you. So that's what I got out of that. But Isaiah 6:5 says, and I said, woe is me, for I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. So don't listen to, basically, a fool is going to look for wisdom from the world, going to look and try to fix things from worldly views and turning to God and choosing to, like ask Him, like, look, I don't know how to go about the situation. Help. I need help. And just lead me where I should go. Take me to where I should go. And Lord, use me. And like, because you're getting your wisdom and your knowledge from God, not from the world or from people who think they know what they're talking about. So, but one thing I liked that I had saw was wisdom is merely seeing life from God's perspective and responding according. So, wisdom is a priority, and we are told to seek it above all else. So, whenever you're seeking God, it's a priority because whenever you're wise, spiritually wise, you know how to also approach people to spread the gospel. You know how to be a fisher of men. You know how to gain, like, bring more people. And so, I think it's cool, and it's something that you have to work at it every day. So, um, let's see.
Wisdom.
Okay,
We're back to have technical difficulties, but we have our
as
amazing
per
camera
usual.
woman, so she told us about it.
And T-Ways.
What I was saying was, wisdom isn't something that's given to you. God just doesn't be like, oh, this
you
person
go.
needs some wisdom. It's he really needs to do that to some people, but we're not gonna talk about that. He will watch you, and he will, and you have to actually work at it. It's also not something where he just, like Katie said,
Right.
it comes from reading your Bible and
Putting in the work.
putting in the work for it, because
You
it's
have
not something that just comes to you. Also, I'm like sitting really weird because I'm really cold.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. But it's like because when you ask God for wisdom, you can't just expect Him to give it to you without you not doing anything. Because if you're still doing the same worldly things, well, He ain't gonna do what you
Yeah.
think gonna happen. He ain't fixing you a fool, baby. No, you gotta switch. You gotta change your ways a little bit. But when you have respect for God's majesty, it like and how powerful He is, it like it causes us to honor Him, and our gratitude for His mercy causes us to serve Him well, and that like whenever we learn that and to properly give God the glory that He deserves, wisdom. So and also I got some verses on the front, y'all. And then true wisdom begins when you learn to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. Absolutely love that verse because it literally tells you don't be leaning on your own understanding because God
I
has
was about to highlight that little couple words in
because
there.
your own understanding is going to lead you 6 feet in the ground, sweetheart. So don't do that. Reason because our heart and our minds will fail us too. That's why we have to have God beside us because He knows He's going to direct us. That's why we have to have Him. We cannot be successful at life without Him because us leaning on our own understanding, we're going to fall. I mean, we're going to fail.
Like we said, I don't know if it was last episode or a couple episodes ago. Hell is the only place that God's not there.
Right.
That's why it's so terrible. And I think it was a couple episodes ago. But that it's so terrible. So we have God with us 24/7. If you are an atheist, you have God with you 24/7. He's always there.
Exactly.
And the people who say, I don't need God, have never been without Him.
Exactly.
So they don't know how terrible it would be.
I'm telling you because, like, whenever I've had, like, my moments where I've just kind of, like, fell out of my routine of, you know, putting God before everything else and just kind of consistently staying with Him and having a good relationship, it sucked. I hated, like, I felt so alone. And then it put so much room for doubt and fear, and my anxiety got really bad. And it sucks. And then whenever you get to that point, sometimes you feel like, well, I mean, I don't know if God would want me back, because I've done it so many times. But then it's not the case, because we're His child. I mean, we're His children, and He cares so much. And I think that is so important to realize, because you're never too far gone, or which, I mean, I feel like you hear that a lot, like, you're never too far gone, God's got you. But it's reality. You're never too far gone, God's got you. So legit, change your posture. Get on your knees and change your posture. And whenever you change your position, you'll view God in a different way. You'll view Him as the King of everything, the all-knowing, all-worthy God. He is the everlasting God, the one who loves and is so compassionate. Y'all, and compassion is a huge thing. He loves us so much. And whenever you realize just how much He loves and what He did, then you'll understand Him. Well, not understand Him, because He's a lot.
You can't understand God.
I'm about to say, He's beyond our understanding.
You will know why He does the things He does.
Yep.
You'll know
A little bit.
Yeah.
You still have some, like, why you did that, but
you'll still be wondering.
I mean, like, anyways. But did you have anything to say? Okay, because I had another verse that I wanted to go on. It's James 1. Yeah, James chapter 1, verse 5. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. This reminds us of the importance of asking God to show us His views, His perspective, and His standards. Just like I said earlier, having true wisdom is like seeing the world through God's eyes, and reacting the way He would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which was a cool thing, and I remember I used to pray about that. Like, that just, whenever I was, like, younger, and, like, this is whenever I first had, I guess you would say, my first real breakthrough. And I wanted to, like, I was like, God, I want to see the world the way You see it. I want to see the hurting people.
Eyes for just one second.
But, and you gotta realize, whenever you pray a prayer like that, that's one of them dangerous prayers.
It's like praying for patience.
Yeah.
Y'all, I don't know if y'all have
Yeah.
seen, like, the TikTok videos that's like praying for patience,
I
and
know.
then, like, it's so funny, because it's like God isn't just gonna give you patience.
No. He's not just going to give you strength.
So it's so funny when people are like, I prayed for patience, but all God is doing is putting me through all these situations where I need patience, but I don't have it. And I'm like, He's training you. You got to go through the basic training.
I was about to say to people, like I said, whatever you learn all this, it's like, bro, it's Jesus.
It's Jesus.
It's Jesus.
Everything is Jesus.
I had somebody ask me one time. It's like, it was my friend. She called me. She's like, God allows people to come into your life, and, like, even ones that hurt you, and, like, some are a blessing and some are a lesson. I'm like, yeah. And she was like, so why is it whenever, like, why does He allow them to hurt you? I was like, well, wait, wait a minute. I was like, he allows people to come into your life, but you got to realize who he allows to come into your life, because you allow people to come into your life all the time. Now, you're the one who decides if they stay in it. And whenever they hurt you because you have allowed them to and you kept on taking their bull crap, then you get hurt.
Yeah. That's, you said something. You said some people come into your life as a blessing,
And some are a lesson.
some are a lesson. So when people say, "Oh yeah, this it's a blessing and a curse," no, it's a blessing and a lesson. It's
Blessings,
blessing.
blessings, blessings.
it's a blessing on a lesson. It's a lesson and a blessing, and a lesson and blessing. But yeah,
Y'all didn't think y'all was gonna get out of this without hearing Ecclesiastes, did you? Absolutely not. So, use discernment.
use
Yeah,
it.
I think every episode I've talked about this. Ecclesiastes 7:5 says, "It is better to heed the rebuke of a wise person than to listen to the song of fools. To grow in wisdom, we must develop the ability to discern between wise counsel and foolish advice, and be willing to learn from those who are wiser than us." Like I was saying earlier, you have to have discernment, because if somebody, like, okay, here's a situation. It's kind of like a turn the cheek situation. It's like, man, this girl got up in my face today, and then I'm just saying, I guess you'd say foolish person, yeah, girl, beat her up, just kind of. The other person's like, no, it's not that serious. Take it down a notch. Have some self control now. Come on. That's kind of like, that's how I understand it. But use discernment on which, like,
Angel and a devil on your shoulder.
Exactly. That's exactly
Figure out
what
which
it is.
one is which.
You just gotta you gotta listen. You gotta know. But one of the last things, and I'm not one of those people that can, like, go off the top of my head with a lot of stuff I have to have in front. Anyways, but wisdom is not just about being knowledgeable, but also about having the ability to apply that knowledge in a way that is beneficial and meaningful. And the wisdom of the world is tailored to suit a fleshly version of wisdom, but the wisdom of the Bible is a wisdom that always points and leads us to the cross, to Jesus. So let me say that again. The wisdom of the Bible is a wisdom that always points and leads to God. It comes from the Lord. Wisdom comes from the Lord. From him comes knowledge and understanding. So when you know him, you will understand. It's just like, because I'm speaking to myself. Like, that's why I'm not necessarily being like that to y'all. I'm just like, listen. And this one, true wisdom is the revelation of God about himself. Jesus said that I am the way, the truth, and the life. John 16:4. If you want to know the truth, you need to know Jesus. The Spirit of God allows you to see and understand the mysteries of his grace. What? Do that to me.
I just pointed at the camera. So I'm like, that. Listen to that.
If you want to know the truth, you got to know Jesus. Read it.
If you
Live
want the wisdom,
live it,
work for it.
Learn it, live it, love it. That's it.
Okay, but here's the thing. It goes back to what we were saying. Like, you got to work for it. You've got to get in the Word. It's not going to be something that's just given to you. Because God's not going to give you the patience. God's not going, oh my God, it's all coming together. Oh my God.
When you know Jesus, you know wisdom.
Is everything coming together? Is all of this coming together? I'm so
Oh
excited.
my gosh, it's like, wow. Anyways. Yeah, and when we know God and have a relationship with him and I already said that, but when we feed our spirit and we have a relationship with God, the words come directly from the mouth of God. But this verse right here, I like it a lot. Well, it's not a verse, but it's like, to understand that our God is love, to the understanding that our God is of love and also he's also a God of wrath inspires enough fear to help us to stay away from evil. That's also a good way to put fear too. Because when you fear God, you're going to turn from evil in some cases. Like it should encourage you to stay away from the things that you do that are wrong. But anyways, I'm going to I feel like I've just kind of jumped from one thing to another,
No, you did great.
but I just want y'all to know that it all boils down to one thing, you know, in order to experience and have wisdom and, you know, to be able not necessarily to understand, because understanding God is a hard thing to do, and you're not ever going to fully understand Him because He is beyond our understanding. That's why we're not supposed to lean on our own, because He sees the bigger picture. He knows what's best, and in the end, it's going to be what He says is going to go. So why would you want to follow something else? Like, not to mention, it's going to be in your best interest, what you need, and just please have discernment. Understand that God's intentions for you are the best there is, and don't take advice from foolish people. And what I mean by having discernment, know who are the foolish ones in your life, because
Yeah.
if they are, take a step back, because they're feeding into you, they're feeding into your flesh, and it's driving out the Spirit of God. So use a discernment, find the spots that need Jesus, and put Him there. So that's about all I got today, Shelby.
You did so great. That
Well,
was so good.
I understand that my stuff's kind of everywhere, but it's just because like I have so much going on in my mind, and I haven't like properly I haven't been able to properly put everything in like the order that I want it to. Like this ain't a sermon, like I'm not a preacher, but y'all got a burp. Just like hit me. But I had these points. Now, not all these points came from me. It's something that I looked at and I saw and was like, "Yo, this is how I can use this to help me." So just fix your eyes on God and stay to His path, because just do that. Listen to me when I tell you that. I might not get anything through to you, but listen to me when I tell you that. God's got you. I promise.
All the time.
All the time. God's got you. Well, you didn't finish it. See, this is. I'm sorry. It's okay. Anyways, yeah. But it was great. It was a great topic.
Yes, it was.
I did learn whenever I was going through it. I learned, you know, kind of like when you know God, it's wisdom. So, wisdom. So, just yeah, that's about all I got.
Well, you did great.
Anyways,
I guess we can end it here. Okay. Well, like we say every episode, we love you,
Jesus loves you.
and we hope you have a great month, night,
Month.
month.
Have a great month.
Have a great month, night, day, week, whatever time you're listening to this. We love you so much. Bye.